Oh, okay. After the warbird and the bird of prey, um, I was gonna start about like 2014. I was supposed to start drawing the specs and finish the rest of the computer system and start figuring out a, a propulsion system. See, I'm not using regular propulsions on my spacecraft, and I wasn't going to use regular propulsions on my jets or any other of my crafts that are made, because all those crafts are way high tech. So they were coming. I was already upgrading shit, and from what I was already. The Warbird eventually became the Skunk, the jet. This way high surveillance stratosphere, above stratosphere. Actually, it goes above stratosphere. Does it go out of the ozone? No, it goes out of stratosphere though. Stratosphere is not in space. It's at the edge. Not it's not it's not the edge of space still yet. It is stratosphere is like 75,000. That's strat, but it's still inside the Earth, itself. Okay, now then, um, I was going to use a new type of propulsions that is doesn't require rocket fuel. It's a propulsion types engine that will propel the craft because you cannot use rocket fuel in space any fucking goddamn way. It already comes frozen because it's unstable, but it becomes extra frozen in space. For instance, when a planet was blowed the fuck up and little pieces went everywhere, some of those planets were like Jupiter. Some of those planets were like Mars, Saturn. Some of those planets were gas, but when it left the sun that it was orbiting around, like that, like okay, it lost its heat, drifting off into space, and that air gas, became hard, cold, and frozen even more than it was when it was by the sun. By the sun, it was liquidy because of the sun's, making heat and it making hydrogen. So you got this hydrogen, fucking acidy type, fucking alkali fucking type water instead, or an oxygen instead of regular fucking air oxygen that we breathe. But see, had we been born in such a world, a planet, we would adapt and we would know we would be able to breathe there, and they wouldn't be able to breathe here at Earth. You know what I'm talking about? Or no? See, okay, no. Anyway, because the species of a planet adapt to its environment. That's just the way life is. It isn't going to be a species on the planet because every planet has millions and millions upon trillions of evolutionary fucking millennia cycles. Every million years is an evolutionary cycle. Every species turns into, every species evolves into what we are becoming. Well, I know I'm becoming more brilliant and shit, but I don't know about some of you fucks. Um, Now the computer's already quantum. To be quantum is to, without in the not in the mathematical sense, but in the sense of computing and the sense of quantum physics. Now I should know because I do hold a PhD in quantum physics. Oxford University, over there in Oxford University town in France or Paris or some shit like that. I don't remember. It's on the internet, so you know it was the real Oxford. Anyway, I got a PhD in quantum physics, Oxford University. Um, the Oxford in fucking. It is in Oxford, England. There is it's where Oxford is in Oxford, England. Which I didn't know that. Just like Palais Versailles is in Versailles, France. You know, Monsieur Je Palais is retin Pharaoh Tutmosis. Yes, sir. Thank you. Uh, I am a pharaoh in the bloodline of Moses. That's why I know so much. I'm Egyptian with memories passed down to me from Moses, from Ramses, from Cleopatra, from these nuts. No, but really, I'm in the bloodline of Moses. But we'll get to all that in a minute. Um, I'm cleaning the tile, clean it up. Quantum is the computer's already quantum. To be quantum is to be able to coexist within realms, and yes, there are realms, and or dimensions, or interplanet systems like tunnels and shit like that. To be able to coexist together, and to be able to gestate and create what is called this world, this earth, this fucking universe. It is the processing of gathering of particles that well, are organic and inorganic. Now, every particle of inorganic and every particle of organic and every particle of atomic organic, non fucking something or other, some shit like that. You just have so many different particles that some of them we don't have a name. Okay, now I understand that in the LHC, I understand in the LHC and in the other fucking machines that are there that do atom smashing, you can see the particles. Well, of course you can see the particles because you have them contained in this fucking cylinder. Now that shit happens. What's happening in that cylinder in the LHC is what happens every single second of this fucking life that you live. Okay, that shit is happening in front of you, behind you, going through you. It's always happening. But the only reason you can't keep track of it, we can't keep track of it, and we're never, ever, ever gonna be able to keep track of it, is because it's going through its natural process of gestating and of becoming what it has to become. It's doing its natural thing. You understand? It's not in the tube that goes to how many miles? How many countries? 4 or 5 countries? 6 countries? It goes a long ways in a circle. Very fast. You put one going north, you put one going south, and then they'll in the middle collide, and you see all these little. You see what happens to atoms, and when they're just going. This doesn't happen just in space. This happens here too. It happens everywhere that there is a breath of anything, okay, or a gas. In space, there are millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon infinite particles. It is so freaking dirty with particles that you can see them and you think they're micro mini stars. Well, they're not. They're micro mini fucking particles that'll go through your craft from the outside in if they're the right size. If you don't have the right shell, the metal, it'll fucking kill your spacecraft would just fill up with those particles. And guess what? In space, you do not suffocate from not having oxygen. You drown and pop from having too much gases going through your fucking mouth. You can't you can't stop them. It's like drowning with water, but it's fucking gas, which is worse because it just goes in every orifice, your ears, your nose, boom, like a balloon that has too much helium. And that's for real. It's been unfortunately, war has a nasty, nasty, nasty effect. That nasty effect is casualties, whether they be casualties that just got in the fucking way because they're encimosos and they don't know when to fucking quit, or because they're a part of it. they're either on the good side or the bad side, but is there really any side that is good or bad? Yes, there is. There is the side of God, which is written in the book of Revelations. But that's on some other shit. So anyway, that is quantum. And the computer can only exist in this realm, in this dimension. Without that program, it will take over this whole world. That pro, that the thing about the computer being quantum, the processing chip already makes it quantum, and the fact that it got so fucking compact sized by Steve Jobs. But the only thing is, he needed something to get all the data, and for the computer, he knew what the computer can do, but he didn't really know what the computer can do. But he became good at knowing how to build what I'm looking at. See, all this shit here was a design of Steve Jobs, and the very intricate what really brought it to life, because without the other part, this thing would have never came to life.